Hey guys, another cool thing that we use in at the job site is the wood framing, or is the nails. There's a lot of subcategories in the nails, type of nails, type of guns that you are going to use them together. So what classifies a nail? What subcategories classifies a nail? So in projects you have to look up on a bunch of things. So you have to check the length, right? Because if you're holding things together, the length of the nail is supposed to hold something, right? You put in nails to hold something into something. So you're supposed to give them a proper connection. So the length is very important. In wood framing, there's different sizes, right? Depends. I mean, it goes from securing windows, like an inch and a half, an inch and a quarter, an inch and 3/4, 2 inches, and then going to the wood framing, rough framing. You have the minimum is 2.5, but it goes all the way to. I mean, there's nails that I never saw in the market, but the longest that I saw was like 4.5. But usually it's between, for rough framing, 2.5, 3.25. Okay. So the length is very important. The diameter is also very important. You have to look out for the specs, because the engineers ask for a minimum diameter, which is 0.131. That's what is shown on the International Building Code. So most of the architects go by that. Just be careful when you get your nails, because some of the nails are 0.121, and that's below the requirement in some projects. Okay. Yeah, the most common is 131, but sometimes it's 148.148 inches. This measurement is in inches, no, it's not like a nominal or a code. It's in inches. Very thin, but is a requirement. But most of the time is 0.131 inches. Okay. So the length, diameter. Now the finish. All the nails, they receive a code of galvanization, because during construction, the wood itself, it has a moisture, sometimes like 19%. So there's a level of moisture associated with. So they use what is called a bright finish. It's supposed to be used on the interior applications, okay? Not long periods of moisture. You should be using that. But in the exterior side, exterior applications, you should use higher requirement, premium on the galvanization. Okay. Sometimes just galvanized, sometimes hot dip galvanized, depends on the process. All of these are for exterior. If you want to go above that, they have stainless steel, but that's more on the siding side, because it's a finished product. It's going to be staying there for years and years. That's 25, 50 years. So some projects require stainless steel nails. But yeah. And now, how can we? Oh, there's another thing. The type of nails, the surface. Let's say there's there's what is called the smooth nail. There's no shanks on it, you know, like annular rings. It's just smooth. That's for wood application, you know, soft wood. But there's nails that have rings on it, ring shank. That's for plywood, OSB, for sheets. You know, it holds bearing when you pull. Okay. Okay, so now you have to think how you're gonna use the nail with the gun. So technology advanced. Some point in history, they would sell loose nails, and you just hamming every single one. Now we have a gun where you can buy the nails in coil. You know, there's a wire connecting them. You know, there's a what is called a coil, and gives you speed. So there's a gun, gives you speed. So that's one way. In another small projects, they also use a gun, but it's not coil. You know, it's just a cartridge, like in a certain angle. It has less nails, but it's commonly used. Okay, that's the nails for rough framing on the wood. Also, there's nails for the connectors, you know, for hangers, straps. That's a different kind of nail. They have a different diameter, different sizes as well, but you know, same galvanization options that we mentioned, but it's a different diameter, different size. Okay, so you just go over the charts, and they're gonna show you the correct nails that you're supposed to use. Okay, you can check catalogs. It explains really well which type of nails you have to use, but also the quantities. Some manufacturers, they allow you to change the type of nails, because there are some nails that are supposed to be loose nails, you know, because they are longer, but some manufacturers, to some connectors, they let you change with the correction on the load. Have you checked that? Correction of the load to smaller nails, but then you can use them on a cartridge and a gun. So instead of loose nails, you have on a gun, so that gives you speed. So watch out for type of nails they can substitute and gives you speed on the installation. If you are doing a small project, that's gonna be a small difference, but if you're doing you start doing more, you're gonna see the difference, right? So in every let's say 1% you get better in each step, you get a 25% at the end. That's a huge, depending on the size of the project, right? So it's a good thing to try and see these. Let's not call them loops, but there's a way to help and deliver the job faster, you know, without compromising the quality, of course. Everything is based on literature, everything supported by documentation. You just have to know where to look, who to ask, and then properly create a document and send it over to the client. Explain, do your pitch on paper, and ask to be approved. You can apply that to pretty much anything on your experience. And if you find documentation supporting your idea, that's way better to be approved. There's because they might not approve something based out of experience, but they might, with proper documentation, right? So good. So that's pretty much it for nails, right? Length, finish, diameter, type of nails. So yeah, we can extend that to the also the siding, but this is all we have for framing pretty much. Most of the projects they ask for the sheeting to be secured with 8D nails. When you say 8D, is 8 times the diameter. So usually it's 2.5. If it's 10D, it's a 3-inch. But usually it's 8D. If the shear wall has more requirements, you can try. Not try, but they're gonna ask probably for a 10D on the sheeting. And there's a half an inch difference, but this half an inch, it's half an inch more that the nail is gonna secure into the wood. That's times the number of nails you have per sheet, so you have an increase on resistance in there. Okay, so just be careful, because you might do like 100 projects with 8D, and all of a sudden you have a 10D, and if the GC starts pulling nails from your job site just to check it out, and it's different, he might ask you to change. It's gonna be a lot of pain. So pain on your budget. So just make sure you guys are reviewing the drawings, proper documenting everything, and it should be 80% of the job done. You know, for less, if you document it, it's probably way easier to deal with the problem later. It's not probably based on experience. You can ask anyone. If you have everything documented, it's gonna help you a lot. If the time comes and you need to prove something, you know. So yeah, fantastic. This is oh, I was talking about the plywood, right? So the nails on plywood. So usually 8D, sometimes 10D. For the framing, it's usually 10D, but they ask. But depending where you're getting on nails, it might be available to use 12Ds, which is 3.25. So it gives you a quarter extra. But depending where you're getting on nails, just ask. Maybe the 3.25 is more available, or has a more attractive price, and you're giving a quarter more for your framing, right? It depends. Usually it's 10, which is 3 inches. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I think this is a lot to take, but usually it helps a lot during construction. When you see the nails, you're gonna say, oh, this is not gonna cause any troubles, but it can, as you guys follow with this explanation. And also you have to be careful with the nails on the job site, because if you don't properly secure them, they're gonna be destroyed. The wire can be damaged. If they are supposed to be used in interiors applications, and there's a lot of snow, a lot of rain, they might get a rust on it. If you ask me, it doesn't compromise totally the nails, but you know, it's just like a aesthetic look. You see a rusty nail, the client can be, oh, I don't want that on my product, on my framing. But it's just a way of the nail protecting itself. But you know, just take care of the small stuff. And at the end, you're gonna thank God you did that, because you're gonna save here, and there. In the end, it's gonna be a big chunk. So yeah, awesome. I just want to give you a brief about the nails. I think it's a very important feature to not overlook. And awesome. Until next time.